Adoa TV, bringing good things to life.
And welcome to the evening news on Adoa TV, brought to you by Adoatv Roofing Sheet and Cookware, Verna Drinking Water, and Blue City Ties and Accessories. My name is Benedicta Dodu. Remember, we are streaming live on Facebook at Adoa TV Ghana. Now, a look at our top stories for tonight's bulletin. The chairperson for Ghana's Electoral Commission, Jane Aduke-Mensah, has touted the performance of the commission she chairs at the 2020 general election, and we will tell you more about that and some other developments during the opening ceremony of the ECOWAS Parliament in Ghana. Government has been urged to prioritize the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources, and we will tell you why. In business, the Bank of Ghana is warning the public against doing business with fraudulent money doubling schemes operating in Ghana under the pseudonym World Remit. Tonight, we will shed more light on that. Finally, in sports, Ghana has secured a second medal in the ongoing 14th Ghana Africa Junior and Senior Swimming Championship yesterday. We will bring you more major highlights on the competition. Details of these stories and more in tonight's bulletin. Now, moving on to our first story, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has stated that it is time member states of ECOWAS take a critical look at the effectiveness of their electoral systems and processes that will provide free and fair elections and guarantee accountable governance. According to him, the running of credible elections pose a big challenge to many democracies, including West Africa. He made this call at the opening ceremony of the 5th high-level parliamentary seminar themed 2 decades of democracy in ECOWAS member states, achievements, challenges, and the way forward.
Remain the bedrock of any genuine democracy. And the running of credible elections poses a big challenge to many democracies, including ours in West Africa. In reality, elections the world over are moments of considerable tension, uncertainty, and anxiety for all. In most regions, such uncertainties usually disappear once election results are declared and the citizenry move on with their lives. In several cases in West Africa, unfortunately, the contrary is oftentimes the case. These happenings in the region require that you, distinguished parliamentarians, take a critical look at the effectiveness of our electoral systems and processes to provide free and fair elections.
He explained that the direct participation of the people in the election of leaders and the maintenance and operation of the natural systems that captures the genuine will of the people must be key.
I believe we all have a common understanding that democracy is a universal value which is based essentially on 2 cardinal principles. Firstly, the direct participation of the people in the election of leaders. And secondly, the maintenance and operation of electoral systems that capture the genuine will of the people. These are 2 closely related, interknitted principles. With reference to the first principle, the authority of any elected public officer is vested in the people, and this can only be legitimately exercised through free, fair, and credible elections. That is why, having dedicated nearly half a century of my life fighting for the entrenchment of democratic values in Ghana's body politic, the accession to power by any other means other than the ballot box remains for me wholly unacceptable, no matter the ostensible justification. This viewpoint is strongly affirmed by the ECOWAS Supplementary Protocol on Democracy and Good Governance, which we are all duty-bound to protect.
However, President Akufo-Addo noted that the profession of the sanctity of the ballot box carries with it the subversion of good governance, hence must be the solution.
The protocol, quite rightly, frowns on shortcuts to power other than through the ballot box. Those who claim to have solutions to the myriads of problems confronting our countries should convince the population to give them the chance through the ballot box to put their solutions to work. Saber rattling and unorthodox routes to power, as we know from history, do not necessarily produce durable solutions. The solutions of democracies are far more enduring. On principle number 2, it is important to state that the strength of any democracy is very much determined by the credibility of its electoral systems and respect for the will of the people. We cannot overlook the fact that instability has followed disputed elections in many parts of our continent. All stakeholders in the electoral process must work to ensure that there are no lingering questions about the legitimacy of an election. There will always be winners and losers in an election. That is the system of governance we in West Africa subscribe to. It is painful enough to lose an election. I can testify to that. But the pain should not come with the suspicion of having been cheated.
In the same vein, he lamented that over the last 20 years, the world has come to acknowledge that elections in West Africa have been largely free, fair, and credible, outcomes of generally being well acclaimed and accepted. Therefore, it is vital they maintain this reputation and do not allow any manipulation of the electoral systems to achieve, quote, favorable outcomes.
In the last 20 years, the world has come to acknowledge that elections in the ECOWAS community have been largely free, fair, and credible. Their outcomes have generally been well acclaimed and accepted. It is vital we maintain...
Same vein, the Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament, His Excellency Right Honorable Dr. Sidi Mohamed Tuni, also addressing member states, called on its members to amend its constitution not to suit a particular political party to remain in power. He calls followed the recent chaos in Guinea, which has resulted in military takeover and the ban of democratic order and parliamentary activities.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, while we condemn the coup in the Republic of Guinea, it is very important that we give serious attention to the new phenomenon of amending the constitution of a state before an election or before the expiration of the tenure of an incumbent president. Amending a constitution to conform to the current realities is not itself a problem. However, when the proposed amendments to the constitution protect the governing elite at the expense of citizens or will undermine the very nature of constitutional democracy, thereby granting the incumbent undue advantage to extend his mandate, then we have a problem. The truth is, this practice is eroding the gains we have made as a community, sinking the region into more chaos, and creating a serious reputational risk for ECOWAS as an institution. If we do not take firm and very decisive actions against this ugly trend, ECOWAS will not only be perceived as a body of failed states, but will indeed fail. We could also name the hijacking of electoral processes, voters' fraud, and disenfranchisement, attack on free speech and the press as vices that attack a country's electoral system and take away from the core of democracy. Considering the effect these have caused us and the toll they continue to have on the region, it has become necessary that we go beyond statements that merely condemns these actions and consider imposing harsher penalties on would-be perpetrators.
Subsequently, he condemned the military takeover in Guinea and called for the immediate restoration of democratic order and parliamentary activities.
At the moment, we are also looking closely, monitoring the developments in Mali, and continue to admonish political actors to stick to the ECOWAS-approved roadmap for the restoration of democratic rule. We are also of the conviction that in addition to the investments we have made in securing a transition to democratic order in Mali, more needs to be done to ensure that the people of Mali come out of the political crisis that looms. As a community parliament that uncompromisingly upholds the tenets of democracy, we condemn the military takeover in the Republic of Guinea, which ultimately led to the dissolution of the National Assembly, and firmly supports the position taken by the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government at its extraordinary session held in Accra on 8 September 2021. We are joining other stakeholders to call for the immediate restoration
on the chairperson for Ghana's Electoral Commission, Jane Adoa has stated that the end results of Ghana's 2020 elections shows that elections can be run effectively in West African countries. She explained that Ghana's successful election story can be an inspiration to other West African states due to its transparency, credibility, cost effectiveness, high turnout, and the peaceful conduct that characterize it.
Mr. President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to the glory of God, I'm pleased to say that Ghana held an election in December 2020 that proved that the story of elections in our sub-region can indeed be an inspiration, that our story as West African states can be one that brings hope to our youth and light to the coming generations, and that we can provide best practices that the most advanced democracies of the world can learn from. Yes, we can. I humbly refer to Ghana's 2020 elections as historic for the transparency, the credibility, the cost effectiveness, the high turnout, and the peaceful conduct that characterized it. So orderly, so methodical, so calm were the polls on the 7th of December 2020 that BBC could find no other way to describe our elections than boring.
She explained that despite the projection of low turn as a result of COVID-19, the Commission was able to compile an entirely new biometric register in 38 days, of which the efficiency of their coverage in the voter registration exercise has been attested to by the recently released Ghana's population census.
We proved that elections in our sub-region can be run efficiently in spite of the odds and challenges. Indeed, the global COVID-19 pandemic caused a major disruption to our election timetable as a result of the uncertainty and the fact that the suppliers of our electoral materials were unable to meet our procurement schedule owing to the global lockdown. As a result, it was only 6 months to our elections that we were able to commence our electoral processes. And yet, ladies and gentlemen, within that short space of time, we completed every electoral process, including introducing and deploying a new biometric voter management system comprising hardware and software, and preparing a new biometric register. This and other electoral processes were undertaken within a space of 6 months, from the 30th of June when we started the registration exercise to the 9th of December when we declared the presidential results. In spite of the fears and projection of a low turnout as a result of the COVID-19 virus, we compiled an entirely new biometric voters register in 38 days only, successfully registering over 17 million eligible Ghanaians in that short time and exceeding our initial target of 15 million registrants. By bringing voter registration centers to the doorsteps of citizens, we ensured that every eligible person who wished to register was able to do so. The efficiency of our coverage in the voter registration exercise has been attested to by the recently released population census figures that place Ghana's population at 30.8 million.
Giving vivid clarification on its transparency, she said,
"We innovated groundbreaking best practice for the achievement of orderly and swift polling processes. And so for the first time in our history, there were no long queues, no frustrated crowds, and no disgruntled voters on voting day. So orderly and swift was our polling process that by 1 p.m., 70% of our polling stations had completed voting long before the end of polls at 5 p.m. We achieved this through a simple system of reducing the number of voters per polling stations and increasing the number of polling stations nationwide. I'm happy to note that we recorded a voter turnout of 79% compared to 67% in 2016. We proved that electoral processes in West Africa can be transparent. All our electoral activities were conducted in the full glare of the public.
However, the commissioner disclosed that aside its credibility and transparency, it was cost-effective.
Proved that elections in our sub-region can be cost-effective, and that with strict financial and procurement protocols, elections on our sub-region can be largely self-financed. Mr. President, Your Excellencies, for the first time in our history, we executed the entire electoral process without donor assistance. Indeed, our elections of 2020 were solely financed by the government of Ghana. I'm happy to note that we reduced the cost of our election by 41% compared to 2016, notwithstanding inflation and price hikes, and the fact that we incurred additional costs owing to the COVID-19 protocols we deployed throughout the election. We cut the cost per voter from $13 per head in 2016 to $7.70 per head at a time when the cost of elections is rising world over. Through this reduction in cost, we saved our government a formidable sum of $90 million.
On a rather sad note, former Minister of Aviation Joseph Kofi Ada has been confirmed dead. Mr. Ada, who is the immediate past Member of Parliament for Navungu Central in the Upper East region, died at the age of 65. According to a relative, Mr. Ada died in the early hours of Thursday, October 14th, 2021, on arrival at the Legon Hospital. The relation disclosed that he had been battling with ill health for the past few years. Mr. Ada also served as Minister of Sanitation in President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's first term. He was also a financial economist and a management consultant. A former Deputy Minister for Agriculture, Kennedy Nyaku Osei, also confirmed the death of his former colleague on social media and commiserated with the family. Meanwhile, scores of individuals who gathered at the GRA office on the Accra High Street have expressed worry over slow pace of the Ghana card registration. These individuals include those who had already registered but are yet to get their cards, and also those who are yet to be registered. They pour out their frustration to Adoa News team.
Exercise in the 16 regions across the country has been met with long queues amidst slow pace of exercise. One of the centers for the registration exercise is the GRA office on the Accra High Street. Adoa News team was at the center to ascertain the progress of the exercise so far, especially as many government or public service requires the Ghana card now. Upon arrival, the team was met with agitations from some aggrieved Ghanaians whom, according to them, had been in the queue for almost 6 hours. They asserted that officials of the GRA are taking money from some people, hence they are given the opportunity to register theirs, while for those who are not able to afford the supposed protocol services are left to their fate. All legitimate means to get them registered with the National Identification Authority to get their cards have proven futile.
There have been allegations of bribery unfolding in some metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies in the ongoing elections that are being conducted to either confirm or reject MMDCEs nominated by President Akufo-Addo. Following these allegations, a member of the New Patriotic Party's communications team and a 2020 parliamentary candidate in Akwetia, Ernest Kumi, has expressed worry about how bleak the future of Ghana's local governance looks like if this menace is not curbed.
He said, giving out bribe is a clear scenario of the deterioration of Ghana's political establishment, and it's going to be worse in the near future. According to him, many Ghanaians know how it was previously, and any political watcher will agree with him that in the past, some of these behaviors were condemned. Yet it was today, and as such, in some few years to come, it will be worse. The news team further hits the streets of Accra to seek views of the populace on how dire the consequences of this phenomenon can be.
If you say the orgy bribe, no, at the pay to me, no, only person pano on me or man, orgy bribe, abba, or bribe now, express or no babano, or by you may be at the other Atenica, a canon so better no, Obiesca, Anna, or the other, or the Aticano. Indeed, the minimum.
Why? You saw a man here, the Sika talk or mine, yeah, dear, Edeboa. Yes, you can hear the Sicana can hold there, a ye. Name so much the Sika, a man profan Sunday at a bowman, a mawman, and the yard dear boy and cry. I say, yes, share woman, ye, now Munjuma, your more ye, Edeboa or mine. Say a papa, name ye papa, and then I say, yaji tomb near the share, eto abamaum. No one says, "Oh, my yesika, the infanto abama or modea near the baby."
As some section of the public expresses worry and aware of the view that taking bribes before endorsing a candidate is just like creating more avenue for people to loot from the national coffers. Others also believe that those who are caught in the act should be made to face the full rigors of law to deter others from engaging in such acts.
Say true, so much professor, Nipa Sonesi, or J. Sika and Sana, be our Cotuaba, and Nipana or no Gis can say, your china so now the also makes can say, your china because I know you're correct here. Maybe say, oh, mine, say,
from that, the Africa Education Watch, EduWatch, has asked the General Legal Counsel to admit some 499 candidates who were declined admission into the Ghana School of Law despite passing the 2021 entrance exam. According to the EduWatch, measures taken by the Ghana School of Law to refute students' access to legal education is unfair and cannot be justified. It demanded that the move rebut the government's agenda of doubling tertiary enrollment by 2030.
The African Education Watch has asked the General Legal Counsel to admit some 499 candidates who had declined admission into the Ghana School of Law despite passing the 2021 entrance exam. According to EduWatch, the measures taken by the Ghana School of Law to refute the students' access to legal education is unfair and cannot be justified. It demanded that the move rebuts the government's agenda of doubling tertiary enrollment by 2030. It made the remark in a press statement issued on Wednesday, October 13, 2021. This action of the Ghana School of Law contradicts government's own agenda of doubling tertiary enrollment by 2030 and creating equal opportunities for career progressions and skills development as a means of curbing graduate unemployment, the statement said. How would the government of Ghana attract more students into tertiary education when graduates from our law faculties, even after passing the law school's entrance exam, cannot gain admission to the Ghana School of Law? EduWatch nonetheless presented a solution to the Ghana School of Law that it should be restrained by physical space. It insisted that the school can either accept the students as in-persons or virtual students. According to EduWatch, this forms part of government's tertiary education policy. Globally, training institutions have adopted virtual learning systems and technologies to sustain the increased access to legal education in the face of limited physical infrastructure and the COVID-19 pandemic effect. Should there be genuine concerns regarding limited physical space, the Ministry of Education through the various tertiary institutions have enormous experiences in managing high numbers through virtual school initiatives, which should never pose a challenge to the Ghana School of Law adopting to admit the 499 students into a virtual school. It further called on the Ghana School of Law to admit the 499 students either as in-persons or virtual students, in line with the government's tertiary education policy. Pro tem, The National Union of Ghana Students has also in a petition asked Parliament to order the General Legal Council to provide raw marks of candidates who took part in Ghana School of Law entrance exams for 2020 and 2021. Now presume only a response from the GLC on the retrospective implementation of the new rules of the exams will resolve the continuing mass failures recorded during the professional law school entrance exams. The union says its own independent checks shows that the total number of students who passed the 2021 examination stands at 1,289 and not 790, as the General Legal Council's new regulation makes it. Hence, its petition to the legislative arm of government. We wish to petition your high office to order the General Legal Council to appear before the Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee with raw scores of the examination from this year and last year. Mr. Speaker, we deem it necessary for raw scores of both the previous year and this year to be examined by the committee because we believe it will demonstrate whether the separation of scores from the two sections existed before the just-ended examination, the petition read in part. The 2021 Ghana School of Law entrance exam saw 28% of the LLB candidates gaining entrance to the Ghana's only institution for training lawyers, with 790 out of 2,824 candidates passing. The poor pass rate has in the past sparked calls for a reform.
Has been urged to resource the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources with funds and personnel, as well as ensure that the sector is prioritized. Speaking to Adoa News, Chairman for Coalition of NGOs into Water and Sanitation, Koniwas Atta Ayin says this has become necessary because if Ghana's water, sanitation and hygiene is well positioned, the country will be resilient enough to address many of the emergency challenges faced by it. He spoke ahead of the 32nd MOL conference in Kumasi.
Confront us in the sanitation and water subsector. The theme for this year's conference is repositioning the wash sector for emergency response and sustainable development. Coming from the background of the COVID-19 pandemic and the various emergencies that we have experienced, we believe that if we are able to position Ghana's wash sector, we will be resilient enough to address many of the emergency challenges that we face, and also use wash as a catalyst for growth and sustainable development. That is why we are having the conference on this theme. The joint monitoring program, which is conducted by the World Health Organization and UNICEF, have indicated that Ghana's access to improved sanitation, and when I say improved sanitation, I'm basically talking about access to improved toilet facilities, that we are at 24%. 24% for me is not good enough, because there are countries which are less endowed than Ghana who are beginning to take the necessary steps and are doing better. And I think that if we prioritize the sanitation subsector enough, if we invest adequately, if we do law enforcement, and if we engage all stakeholders adequately, we should be able to accelerate the rate at which Ghanaians are able to have access to improved sanitation. And that is why we are calling on government to take the necessary steps, resource the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources with funding and personnel, and also ensure that this sector is prioritized. Once we do that, things will fall in place, and with the support of the MMDAs, I think we should be getting higher than we are. Also, the public is also advised. Access to toilet facilities is no more a luxury. It is actually something that we must have. And I think that Ghanaians must also be worried that where they are, they don't have access to toilet facilities. And they should take steps to own toilet facilities because they are a catalyst for growth.
Electricity Company of Ghana has stated that one of Ghana's biggest trading centers, New Kejetia Market, located in Kumasi in the Ashanti region, is indebted to the ECG to the tune of 2.1 million Ghana cedis. Activities at the trading center has come to a standstill after the management of the facility disconnected electricity supply to over 7,000 shops on Wednesday. ECG claims the market has been indebted for a period of 6 months. The general manager of the Public Affairs Directorate of the ECG, Erasmus Chirebedu, said this in an interview with an Accra-based media station. He elucidated that it is as a result of unresolved disagreements between the traders and the management over the payment of electricity bills. That notwithstanding, he was asked if an individual shop could vie for an individual meter. Mr. Bedu explained that because the market is being managed by a company, individuals who have no right to bypass the company and apply for personal meters. Management can come to the ECG for a new arrangement for a new individual meter, but they are yet to come, he stated. The traders cannot bypass their management to come directly to them for an individual meter, he reiterated. Is the evening news on Adoatv. Remember, we are streaming live on Facebook at Adoatv Ghana. We'll be right back with more news.
Blue City is a manufacturer and supplier of high-quality fashion accessories. We design and make quality bow ties, flying ties, lapel pins, ladies' brooches, fabric necklaces, African wares, and so much more for your weddings, schools, institutions, bands, choir, singing groups, individuals, and so many more. We use both African prints and foreign fabrics to make your beautiful accessories for you. Oh yeah! Contact us via call or WhatsApp or SMS on 0240-926-564. Locate us at Odoko Official Town opposite Emils Preparatory School. Check us out on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Blue City Fashion. Blue City, creativity and style.
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with RwandAir today. RwandAir, the safest airline in Africa.
RwandAir, fly the dream of Africa.
You beat cancer by how you live, why you live, and the manner in which you live. I am Priscilla Sewamenu, Miss Health Ghana 2020. The month October is noted for breast cancer awareness, and this October, Sonotech Ghana is partnering with Miss Health Ghana to bring you breast cancer awareness campaign dubbed Pink It Out. So from the 1st to 31st October, Sonotech Ghana is offering free breast screening for all women out there. Plus, you get 20% off mammogram and 50% off ultrasound scan if you need one at any of their branches. The campaign is on. Join the campaign, support women, encourage women to come for screening, and support women living with breast cancer. On this note, I will entreat all my sisters out there to come detect it, treat it, and defeat it, because Early detection saves life. Thank you.
Back from the break. Thanks for staying with us. Now, moving on to some business news. The Bank of Ghana has warned the general public against doing business with fraudulent money doubling schemes operating in Ghana under the pseudonym World Remit. According to the central bank, this fraudulent scheme is distinct from the globally renowned fintech World Remit, which is in the business of international fund transfers. A statement released by the Bank of Ghana explained that this fraudulent scheme encourages customers to select preferred packages, following which a code is generated by the fraudsters with which they obtain the WhatsApp accounts of their victims for dubious purposes. The bank advised that deposits be placed with institutions licensed by Bank of Ghana so that they may be accorded the necessary protection offered under the applicable banking laws, and refer to Bank of Ghana's notice on money doubling and card loading systems titled Notice Number BG/GOV/SEC/2020/12, which can be found on the bank's website at www.bankofghana.gov.gh. Now, for a fourth consecutive month, consumer inflation in the month of September 2021 rose to 10.6%, exceeding the central bank's medium-term target of 8 to 10%. The increase, although anticipated by the market, is the highest in the last 14 months of COVID-19 since August 2020, which the indicator stood at 11.5%. Data released by the Ghana Statistical Service shows that after inflation had slowed down to 7.5% in May 2021 from 10.3% in February 2021, the indicator has persistently risen to its current level, largely on the back of increasing non-food inflation.
Data released by the Ghana Statistical Service shows that after inflation has slowed down to 7.5% in May 2021 from 10.3% in February 2021, the indicator has persistently seen a rise to its current level, largely on the back of increasing of non-food inflation. The increase, though anticipated by the market, is the highest in the last 14 months of COVID-19 pandemic since August 2021, when the indicator stood at 11.5%. For 4 consecutive months, consumer inflation in the month of September 2021 rose to 10.6%, exceeding the central bank's medium-term target of 8 to 10%. The year-on-year inflation rate for September 2021 was 0.9 percentage point higher than 9.7% recorded in August 2021. The latest inflation figure indicates that food contribution to overall inflation has declined, contributing less than half. Food inflation's contribution to the total inflation dropped from 50.2% last month to 48.6% in September. But on the monthly basis, food inflation was 11.5%, higher than previous month at 10.9%, and just above the previous 12 months of an average of 10.4%. Even though inflation is mostly tipped to be higher during festive season due to demand pull factors, investors remain positive with the Bank of Ghana's inflation outlook, which expects the headline inflation rate to remain within the medium-term target of 8 plus or minus 2%. Likewise, the World Bank in its Africa Plus report for April 2021 projected Ghana's inflation rate will end this year at 9.8%, in line with the central bank's target of 8 plus or minus 2%. The BOG's outlook stressed risk to inflation in the increasing global economic conditions, domestic economic activities, and government fiscal policy implementation amid the pandemic. Generally, the market still believes single-digit inflation is attainable this year, even though ceases, where some investors believe that inflation could stray above the 10% limit.
Renewable energy currently accounts for just 2.4% of the power generated in the country. The government, meanwhile, is seeking to achieve a 10% renewable energy target by 2030, in line with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, Goal 7, which talks about universal access to clean and affordable electricity. Against the background, the Minister of Energy, Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, said the government stands fully committed to supporting the two state-owned power generation firms to reach their optimal renewable energy potential.
Since His Excellency took office in 2017, we have seen a great momentum in the development of the country's renewable energy industry. The VRA, the Deputy Chief Executive, has just enumerated all that the VRA is doing in adding renewable energy to its portfolio of generation capacity. The Bui Power Authority, on the other hand, has also completed the installation of even more renewable energy solar PV panels at the Bui in the Bono region. The Bui Power Authority has the infrastructure and resources to ramp up to 250 megawatts of solar. And I want to assure you that the Ministry of Energy will support the Bui Power Authority to reach their full renewable energy potential. So I even encourage more the VRA to even do more in your renewable energy portfolio. I am happy to announce that the construction of the Palugu multi-purpose power plant would comprise also an additional 50 megawatt solar plant for the VRA. This project is ongoing. The project is strategic and when completed would add another golden feather in VRA's renewable energy portfolio and open up the entire northern region of Ghana to accelerated economic development. We are committed and will ensure the timely completion of this project. I do know that the Bui Power Authority even wants to go further in its search for other hydro generation potentials in this country and would encourage them to do so. I am again happy to announce that Ghana has completed the preparatory phase for the scaling up of the renewable energy program. And just last month, we had the experts from the ADB, African Development Bank, and the Swiss government in the country to undertake its appraisal mission. The Ministry of Energy and Finance are working around the clock to address observations and recommendations by the mission as soon as possible.
That is it for business. Sports is next.
John, what's in you? Wow, Eddie, what boy, Juma. I check a roofing now. Oh, you fell one casa from Asatec. Oh, now Simon, roofing is a baby bray, nice. Why the catch hell? Asatec roofing sheet today, and you're nice keke with the bodan swa a chee and renache. They want to call us a hood of a fair baby bray. No one free roofing sheet, no dear. Who near that will be out? Now, so the bodan swa a hero supampe. What means which Roman send your open roofing sheet? You tell the summer pepe. Mama poor Asatec money there. One of my technical advice. device na estimate free. Our professional installers nso a wɔyɛ on-site installation. Ne boɔ so kora da fam pa. Oh yes, quality ne bo da fam nye.
Asatec 5 days pay na musa kan order na wɔyɛ after sales service papa bi nso. Hwehwɛ Asatec wɔ Tema Community 2, Meridian Road, Ebenkoko Board Warehouse, Western Region. So Asatec wɔ Takrade Anaji, yɛne Princeland Hotel ɛna di nhwɛni mu. Ɛna Volta Region yɛwɔ Akachi South District Assembly kwan no so hɔ a.
Come back now. Moving on to our first sports story. Ghana secured a second medal in the ongoing 14th Ghana Africa Junior and Senior Swimming Championship yesterday. 21-year-old Jackson again projected Ghana by winning a silver medal at the men's 50 meters butterfly race. The 14th Ghana Africa Junior and Senior Swimming Championship held at the Trust Emporium saw Ghana star boy Abeku Jackson win a silver medal after finishing second in the 50 meters butterfly freestyle event with a time of 24.18 seconds.
Ghana now has 2 medals in the ongoing Ghana Africa Junior and Senior Swimming Championship. All the 2 medals were won by Ghana's Olympic athlete Abeku Jackson. He won the bronze medal during the 100 meters butterfly freestyle after finishing third in the event with a time of 53.98 seconds. Abeku Jackson continued to raise the flag of Ghana high after winning another silver medal, making the second medal in the ongoing Ghana Africa Championship.
Entry time for lane number 4 from Egypt is Haim. He didn't want nothing to line in there and everybody. Very good grip up in the lane number 1. Guy Brooks looks to be coming into something special here, but button lane number 4 is going on is just coming from Ghana. Losing it for the final 5 meters. This is lane number 4. So Nino of Egypt just in time.
After the swimming contest, Abeku Jackson spoke to the sports team of Adoatv about the successes he has chalked upon in the competition.
I'm not disappointed. I'm happy with what I achieved. Whatever was planned for today was supposed to happen. I just want to thank God first, thank my coaches in Ghana here and back also in Russia, and thank everyone who supported me. Looking forward to my last event on the last day, 50 freestyle. Maybe I can achieve something greater. Swimming is something I love and I love to do it, so yes, there will be pressure, but my mind is not under pressure. My mind is just doing what I love for my country. Sportsman, if you're a good sportsman, you're disciplined enough to focus on your race and outside your race.
Ghana's star boy Abeku Jackson takes home silver after initially taking bronze in day 2 of the Ghana tournament, which is happening in Accra at the Bukom Boxing Arena. Something Ghanaians will certainly be proud of. My name is Yohan Povu Jr. reporting for Adoa News.
Away from swimming, the Ghana Black Stars has been in good form after the return of coach Milovan. Black Stars defeated Zimbabwe back-to-back in the World Cup qualifiers within 4 days, with the Black Stars now having 9 points in Group G after 4 games. South Africa leads the table with 10 points after defeating Ethiopia back-to-back. Black Stars fans have shared their opinion about the rejuvenated Black Stars under the new coach Milovan, as many of the fans still believe Black Stars can qualify to the World Cup over South Africa, even though South Africa tops the table.
The Black Stars of Ghana's chance of qualifying to the FIFA 2022 World Cup was in doubt when CK Akono was in charge as the head coach of the Black Stars. Ghana played 2 games under Akono, winning against Ethiopia and also losing 1-0 to South Africa. Milovan Rajevic was appointed 2 weeks ago. Black Stars defeated Zimbabwe back-to-back in the World Cup qualifiers, 3-1 in Cape Coast and 1-0 in Harare, which has helped the Stars accumulate 6 additional points. Black Stars now have their destiny in their own hands. With the 2 games remaining, they can only qualify for the World Cup if they win the remaining 2 games coming up in the point to qualify for the playoff. Adoatv had an interview today with Black Stars fans about Ghana's chance of qualifying.
And as I got 2 matches, yes, South Africa, Ghana, Ethiopia. They say best thing about Ghana is say could win Ethiopia match. South Africa they are trying time. Yeah, we need to be winning. They did be good so. I'm be some of the camera free stadium more continue. Me there. My opinion is say Ghana they likely say bumper could win Ethiopia and qualify World Cup. Ne be could be
Coach Nabon. Every set be a match be a offer different set. 8 players, 8 matches a day. Wabong masa. You pe win, and then you hear you pe players on my bone. Not I. Share Milo match say I boya. Share information's nice. Oh boy, you players on beti mama ya team agina na. Lenga sika kono ko fra ko bia verse tete cross wa mobida. Masa, you players papa. And I coach no information this current coaching information is here. But secretly you
your chance no. Your chance no be South Africa no rather no. No on asem no. Nti say Akono ntimi anse South Africa. Nti challenge no hana challenges near there. Nti say Milo enso betimi asesa ne mamu did you because also a team qualify.
And this was what they said. South Africa is now leading table with 10 points, Ghana 9 points, Zimbabwe 1 point, and Ethiopia 0 point. Ghana Black Stars' next game will be against Ethiopia and finally play the Bafana Boys of South Africa in Ghana, which seems to be the decider of who will secure the qualification.
TV. For more news, log on to our website www.adanewsonline.com. My name is Benedicta Dodu. The evening news is brought to you by Asatec Roofing Sheet and Cookware, Blue City Ties and Accessories, and Vena Mineral Water. Now remember, we are still in the pink month. Make sure you walk into any of Sonotec's branches, be it at the West Hills Mall, their Osu branch or Tema branch, to get free breast screening. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.